Right now, in your bathroom, there is a product that is exactly 167 years old. You use it every single day. And when it disappears, people panic. In 2020, people fought over it in supermarket aisles like it was oxygen. Entire shelves wiped clean in hours. Toilet paper. But here is what nobody tells you. Human civilization built fully functioning sewer systems 4,500 years ago. Private toilets, underground drainage, citywide waste management. And somehow, after all of that, modern humans ended up wiping themselves with paper. That is not progress. That is forgetting. And the story of what we forgot is stranger than anything you learned in school.
Let's start with Rome, 315 AD. The city had 144 public toilets. Not holes in the ground, not bushes behind a rock. Marble structures, running water, ventilation, seating for multiple people at once. They were called foricai. Underneath them, a constant stream of water carried everything away instantly. No smell, no waste sitting still, no contamination. That water flowed into an underground network called the Cloaca Maxima. Construction began around 600 BC. It ran beneath the entire city, channeling waste away from water supplies, away from living areas, out into the Tiber River. Here's the part that should stop you cold. Parts of the Cloaca Maxima are still functioning today, still carrying water beneath a modern city. 2,600 years later, still working.
But what did Romans use instead of toilet paper? One sponge. Shared. Between everyone. You used it. You rinsed it. You passed it on. The next person used it. And somehow, that was cleaner than what came later. Because inside a properly engineered system with constant flowing water, that sponge was protecting Romans from cholera, typhoid, and dysentery. Diseases that would go on to kill hundreds of millions across medieval Europe, centuries later, when the Roman system had collapsed and nobody remembered how to rebuild it. One shared sponge inside a working system saved more lives than anything that came after it. But Rome was not the first civilization to understand hygiene. Not even close.
Go back to Egypt, 3000 BC. Priests bathed 4 times every single day, twice during daylight, twice at night. Not optional, religious law. Ordinary Egyptians used natron, a natural sodium compound found in dry lake beds, as soap and disinfectant. They shaved their entire bodies to prevent parasites. And in 1550 BC, an Egyptian physician compiled a document archaeologists would later name the Ebers Papyrus. 110 pages, over 700 medical formulas, detailed instructions on wound cleaning, contamination prevention, hygiene practices. Written instructions, 3,500 years ago.
Here is the shocking part. The germ theory of disease, the scientific proof that bacteria cause illness, was not developed until 1861 by Louis Pasteur. That means Egyptian physicians were writing accurate hygiene instructions that prevented bacterial infection 3,400 years before anyone understood why they worked. They had no microscope, no laboratory. They were solving invisible problems without knowing invisible organisms existed. At the same moment Egyptian physicians were sterilizing wounds with honey and natron, most of Europe had not even invented basic sewage systems yet. What kind of civilization solves a problem it cannot even scientifically explain? But what archaeologists found in Pakistan shocked them even more. 2500 BC, modern-day Pakistan. The cities of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, each housing up to 80,000 people. Inside those cities, archaeologists found something that made them check their dates twice. Private toilets. Inside individual homes, connected to a citywide underground drainage network. Every house, a dedicated toilet area. Waste flowing through covered brick channels beneath the streets, sloping downward by gravity, channeled into soak pits outside the city, away from water, away from food, away from people. The entire system was not added later. It was designed into the original city layout, from the very beginning. When British archaeologist Sir John Marshall excavated Mohenjo-daro in 1924, he described the sanitation infrastructure as more advanced than anything found in cities of the same period anywhere in the ancient world. Now, here is the comparison that should genuinely disturb you. London, 1850 AD.
a city of 2.5 million people dumping raw sewage directly into the Thames, the same Thames supplying the city's drinking water. In 1858, the smell became so unbearable that Parliament suspended sessions. They called it the Great Stink. The Indus Valley solved this exact problem 4,350 years before London's Great Stink.
And then, around 1900 BC, both cities were abandoned. The knowledge went with them. Gone. A civilization disappeared, and sanitation technology disappeared with it. How do you lose knowledge that advanced? Ancient Greece contributed something different. Not infrastructure, pattern recognition. Hippocrates, born 460 BC, directly connected contaminated water to epidemic illness. No bacteria, no microscope, just pattern, mapped precisely enough that physicians 2,000 years later found it scientifically accurate. Correct conclusion, wrong reason, but the conclusion alone was saving lives. And then humanity made a catastrophic mistake.
The Roman sewers stopped being maintained after 476 AD. The Indus Valley knowledge had been gone for 2,000 years. Greek medical observations were buried under miasma theory, the medieval belief that bad smells, not contaminated water, caused disease. Chamber pots emptied from windows onto streets below. People and animals sharing the same water sources. The Black Death arrived in Europe in 1347. By 1351, 1/3 of the entire continent was dead. Epidemiologists studying the outbreak have consistently noted one thing. The collapse of Roman sanitation infrastructure in the centuries before created exactly the conditions that allowed plague to spread with that speed. The knowledge existed. It had existed for thousands of years. It was simply gone. The walls came down last. Everything else had already collapsed years before.
Toilet paper was invented in 1857 by an American named Joseph Gaetti. He sold it as a medical product. People thought it was unnecessary. The bidet, water cleaning, the same principle used by Roman, Egyptian, and Indus Valley civilizations thousands of years ago, is still considered unusual in most English-speaking countries today. In 2023, the American Society of Colon and Rectal Surgeons published guidelines confirming that water cleaning is measurably more hygienic than paper. Ancient civilizations figured this out between 2500 and 600 BC. We replaced it with paper in 1857 and spent 167 years calling it progress.
Somewhere beneath Rome, a drain built 2,600 years ago is still carrying water. In Pakistan, private toilet systems more advanced than 19th century London are still visible in the excavated brick. In an Egyptian medical text from 1550 BC, a physician recorded hygiene instructions that would not be scientifically explained for another 3,500 years. No technology, no universities, no research grants. Just attention and time. Maybe the strangest part of human history is not that civilizations collapse. Maybe it is that they discover something extraordinary, and then future generations forget it ever existed. We have everything they never had. We are still catching up.